Today, I am going to discuss how to properly structure your resume as a recent graduate. And so before I get started, I just want to share with you that the resume design you see here, it's a mixture. So I did use the distinctive resume template as a starting point, and then I made changes based on my client's style, which client in this case was my cousin. And I'll explain like the idea behind it, but I'll leave an affiliate link in the description so you can check out their templates. Because if you're a person that is not too great with design of resumes, then you want to definitely check out their templates. Now, let's get into this. So the goal of my cousin, he wanted to get out of security because he was working on his associate's degree for in accounting. So he wanted to get into accounting. An entry level position opened up at the community center he was at, and it was for a finance coordinator, and he was working security there. So they said submit your resume because I believe he submitted for another position, but he didn't get that position. And so he submitted his resume for the finance coordinator position. He sent the resume to me. I said, okay, grab a template, put your information in that template, and then send it to me, and I'll take a look at it, and then I'll make my tweaks and changes. So he used the template as is, but I wanted to go in and just tweak it and do some different stuff. So originally, when we completed the template and based on what he submitted to get the job, it was different. So this technical knowledge here, that was not there. The relevant project section, that was not there. I only put it here for the purpose of this video. So that way you can have an idea. Now, because he's only had security experience, I had to think about like transferable skills. Like you need analytical skills, critical thinking skills. You need to be able to communicate verbally and have that customer service experience, especially when you're doing patrols. You do have to pay attention to detail and accuracy, especially when you have to write reports and of incidents that you have seen and things like that. And then also being able to work independently and as well as a part of a team. So those were the major ones that stuck out to me and that I thought would be great transferable skills. And as I mentioned, it was an entry level position. So I did look at the job description, and they didn't really provide too much context of what they were looking for. So I'm like, okay, let me just guess and think about what they would need for what someone would need in this position. And then when I did the education section, it was important to highlight specific coursework that he completed that would be beneficial, and just to show the progression, to show that this is someone that is eager and willing to learn. So in your recent graduate resume, you want to have an area here where you have the target role. And the reason being is because sometimes ATS systems will look for specific experience, and they want to see that you've held the job title, or that you're speaking to that experience that is needed in that position. So I always like to put the target role here, and you don't just have to do that for a recent graduate resume. You can do it for any resume. As you'll remember in my other video, I talked about the branding statement. So for this one, it was very simple because you don't want to fluff it up in a way where it's like, okay, you don't even have this experience. So I just put deep passion for accounting and positively impacting the community, which is true. That's what got him into accounting, and then also to help in his community. He's very passionate about his community. The transferable skill section. I know that you probably have noticed in the past videos that there's a core competency section. And so that can be helpful if you do have experience. But if you don't have direct experience, then I do recommend having a transferable skill section that you can put and speak to as to your transferable skills from your current job, past jobs, to the job that you're targeting, to show how it aligns. And also, you definitely want to have a cover letter, because then you can really highlight those transferable skills and elaborate on them a little bit more. You want to include technical knowledge. This is any software, whether you have self-learned you've taken, maybe you've earned a certification, you've taken a few classes on it, so you have some knowledge of that. You want to include that in there and make sure that it is industry specific, and don't just include just to include. But some general ones that people normally have experience in are Microsoft applications like Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook. So those are ones that you want to. And then now Google Sheets and Google Docs. So Google Workspace is really popular now too. I use that as well. So you just want to highlight this here. You do not have to have all of this, right? So let's just say you have one line. That's fine. Don't overthink it. Just whatever experience you have, just put that there. Do not lie on your resume, because they're going to ask you questions about it, and then you need to be able to speak to it. Education section, you are listing out the degree, and even though you don't have it yet, you can put expected here and the date that you expect that degree. Any coursework that you've completed that is relevant to that experience, you want to list it here. And remember what I said, only list the coursework that is relevant. For instance, when I was looking for a human resources roles back in like 2017, I had completed a human resources management certificate. So all of the courses that I took in that certificate, like employment law, talent acquisition, human resources management. I can't think of everything right now, but all of those classes, I listed those out as coursework completed. Then you can include, if you have this. If you don't stress about it. But if you have it, relevant projects. So like for this one, personal budget optimization, and then you put like the type of project. You can put the financial analysis case study, academic project. So if you feel that it would make your resume stronger, you can definitely put that on here. I worked with someone that was about to graduate, and she was trying to break into marketing. And so for her relevant projects for one of her certificate courses, she had to work with an actual company and help them to market their products. And then they actually were able to go from 0 sales to sales. And so I had her list that on her information to show that she has some real life experience. So there's that. Then you'll have your professional experience as normal. As much as possible, as I mentioned before, you want to quantify your information, meaning you want to add a number to it. So if you save costs, if you improve something, if you handle a certain amount of customers each day, you want to include that. If you're balancing money and you have to do the end of day cash count, then how much do you normally have to count? I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't give confidential information. You want to make sure that this is something that you're not putting in there as confidential, maybe just a roundabout number, an estimate. But at the same time, if you can put like specific achievements, then that would be great. For this resume, we really didn't have too many, because he was in security, so it was very entry level, but we still did the best that we could, and just making sure we used action words and making sure that we showed him as a proactive person that takes initiative and can handle the job of the finance coordinator position, which was an entry level position. Then if you have any relevant volunteer work that you want to add on here, you can add the volunteer work as well. And that's pretty much it. You'll just have to assess the experience that you need to put on here. And I also recommend taking advantage of your career center at your college. They have it to where they will set you up with a career coach, and then they will be able to review your resume for free. So definitely make sure that you take advantage of that. That's what the school has in place to ensure that you have job search success. And some people kind of forget about it and they'll just go do their own thing. But in addition to what you've been learning, just have that second pair of eyes on your resume and helping you with your job search to build the effective strategy for you to make sure that you're properly positioning yourself when it comes to your job search so you can get the best results. And so he used this resume to apply, and he ended up getting the interview. And then from there, I sent him some interview prep information, especially how to articulate himself, because he doesn't have like the direct experience. And then he ended up getting the job. So thank you, Lord. And that is it. So I hope this video helps. If you have any specific questions, drop them in the comments, and then I will do a video on them. I'm always looking for ideas. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. God bless.